me personally, I change my engine oil every 3,000 miles. You can't do it often enough. Like if you do it a little early, that's not going to hurt anything. So I would rather my vehicle last me forever with me changing everything a little bit early than going way overextending it and all the additives inside the fluid start to break down, and that's what causes wear and tear inside of your motor. I would rather be 100% safe than sorry on that. And then I have customers that I do my recommendations on. I give them my own personal recommendations to really help them out. And they get super defensive, some of these people. Why? And I ended up just having to tell them, well, just check your owner's manual and go by your manufacturer's recommendations. Knowing good and well that that's probably not the best idea for some people. But everyone is different. I just wish people wouldn't get so defensive about it and try and start an argument.
You're such a boomer.
There's no reason to try and hurt someone who is genuinely trying to help you and could possibly save you a large amount of money in the long run. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is oil change intervals. Trigger warning. There is so much information out there. Everyone is always getting triggered over when you need to do this, when you need to do that. I've talked to guests, I'm like, well, this is when I recommend you do the oil change. And they get all huffy about it for no reason. And I don't understand why this triggers people, but I've noticed it has. Frankly, this has to stop. One thing we need to understand is the manufacturers. What is the manufacturer's goal for making vehicles? Number one, make profit. That's what manufacturers are here for. They're in the business to make money. That's why they do what they do. No one's doing free work, especially at factories. No one's giving away cars. They're writing a ton of loans that you have to pay until you're dead. But other than that, manufacturers want every dollar they can squeeze out of anybody that walks onto the lot.
Duh.
With that being said, the very first oil company in America, branded company for automotive oil, was Valvoline.
Seriously?
They do millions of hours of research and development on oil, their product that they make. They make bukus of money. They're big business. And with that being said, Valvoline recommends every 3,000 miles you change your engine oil. That doesn't matter if it's full synthetic. That doesn't matter if it's synthetic blend. That doesn't matter if it's conventional. 3,000 mile oil changes will save you a lot of maintenance down the road. Now, if you don't do the oil changes yourself, it can get pretty pricey. The prices on everything are going way up, skyrocketing to the moon. So if you can and you're willing to learn, I suggest that you try and change your own oil and all of these other maintenance items that need to be changed every so often. That way you know when it's done and that it was done right. There's a lot of situations where mechanic shops have been caught, even dealerships, charging people for a new cabin air filter or a new engine air filter, and they never even changed it out.
What?
I've had people come into my shop saying, oh, it was changed this and that. Well, it's free for us to check it. So we check it and we pull it out and it looks like it's never been changed a day in its life.
Ew.
So unfortunately, this kind of stuff does happen in the market. And the only way you can protect yourself against that is by doing the work yourself, which is why I do the work myself. So I know it's been done and it's been done properly. Now, the first people to advertise full synthetic oil was manufacturers, claiming you could go 7,000 more miles on an oil change. And now they've got it down to where the engineers at these companies are actually engineering the engines around a super thin 0W20 weight oil. Even Toyota has a 0W16, and they recently released a 0W8. Super thin, super synthetic oil that, to be honest, in my own engine, I wouldn't trust it. But if it recommends that from the manufacturer, you better use it. That way, if you do have issues, your warranty will still at least hopefully save you if they don't try and back out of it in a legal way.
And
You know, all the different fluids in your vehicle, from your transmission to your oil to your radiator fluid, and then you have differentials up underneath trucks that are rear wheel drive. 4-wheel drive, you have transfer cases and front differentials. Those fluids need to be changed. Now, for manufacturer recommendations, you are supposed to be able to follow those recommendations to a T, and then your vehicle is supposed to last however long it will last. But not these days, my friend. Those days are long gone.
And it's gone!
We've had Kias in the shop with 60,000 miles, regular oil changes, making a super loud ticking sound from the valve and burning oil. When they come in, even after 3,000 miles, if you check the engine oil on the dipstick, it's bone dry. And that's not good.
No.
Now, if you do check your engine oil and it's bone dry, don't be alarmed. There's still some engine oil in the pan at the very bottom. It's just not enough to where it will read on your dipstick. So you still have a quart, sometimes two, depending on the vehicle. Bigger trucks, you'll have a little more. But that just goes to show you can't trust manufacturers' recommendations on newer vehicles, even when they're manufactured and engineered around a lighter weight of full synthetic oil.
We don't care.
So if that is the case, there are ways that you can help that. There are oil additives that you can add in there to help keep it from burning off so fast. I haven't tried any personally, so I'm not going to make any recommendations on that. That will be on you for the time being until I do get into that kind of stuff. Maybe later once I have some time and some more money. What's up, gang? Today we're going to be doing the oil change on the Jeep. The first thing we're going to do on my Jeep today is change the oil. This is the 2013 Jeep Wrangler Sahara. It is a manual 6-speed transmission with the 3.6 liter V6 with the VVT. And the first thing we're going to do is pop this little lid off here so that we can access the oil filter there. And then I like to go ahead and take the oil cap off before I drain it. You will notice that this oil filter is not your standard spin-on metal oil filter. This one has a topside plastic filter here. This plastic filter does have a torque spec from your manufacturer. If you do it too loose, it'll spill oil everywhere. If you tighten it down too tight, this plastic housing will snap. And then you'll be leaking oil everywhere. 18 to 20 foot-pounds is what I have found to be good. At the shop we do all of these at 18 foot-pounds, but sometimes it does require just a touch more. I got my drain pan here. Go ahead and take this little guy out. Slide it up under the Jeep. I like to set it back where I'm gonna. Now it's gonna not drain over this edge, but sometimes you'll get a little drip on this, and then there's no way around it some of these times. Open your little air vent here. Oh, now it's just loosening. Drain plug here. Now this is a 13 mil socket for this plug here. You always want to make sure you're using the right size tool. Definitely don't want to strip out an oil plug. Then I like to get everything situated. try not to spray myself or the ground with oil. If you do this a lot, you can kind of figure out where the tip of it's at, like so. And you just let it drain. During this time while it's draining, I'll go loosen up the top side filter. Here's the filter that I've taken out that we're going to be building, that we got to replace. What you're going to do is you're going to break this bad boy apart, and it pops right out. This gasket right here. Let's get out of our box here. And we're just going to take a little bit of oil. Dip this gasket in this oil bucket. And don't drop it down in there. Get some oil on it. And then you just kind of rub it around to make sure you got oil all over it. Seal this filter when you put it back on. And don't stretch it too much, and then you just roll it on there and make sure it's in that groove right there real good. Then you got the new one. It just pops down in there until you hear the click. And then this filter is ready to be installed. Right, so here's my torque wrench here. I'm gonna set this bad boy to 18 foot-pounds. If I can, let's see, that's 30. So I need to go down 10, which is right there. And you go 19 and 18. And then you're gonna tighten this bad boy back up. For these that have the springs on, you may have to push down a little bit while you're threading. I like to turn it to the left a little bit, and then when it catches, turn it back to the right. That way you know you're not stripping anything out or cross threading, because these plastic housings are a nightmare. Matter of fact, on these engines, this is the most likely thing to be springing a leak first. Get it to where it's nice and snug, and then we'll hear that click right there. That means we're 18 foot-pounds. I like to wipe it off real good just to make sure it's clean. That way if there are issues, it'll be easy to spot. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and set this again to, we're at 19 foot-pounds. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. 25 is going to be the torque spec for the drain plug down there at the bottom. Your torque spec might vary. Now I like to wipe off any oil that I can see. I'm going to wipe off the plug. Make sure no dirt and debris gets into the motor. We'll just very easily hand thread it in. And now we're going to torque it down. And again, just like last time, there's the click. And now it's time to add oil. Alright guys, the last step of the process here is going to be adding the engine oil.
Duh.
So now we got the cap back on. Check. And this snap back into place. And that's how we're changing the oil in the 2013 Jeep Wrangler. Thanks for stopping in.
Credits go!